Total. Oh, my
I'm sorry, folks.
Oh, hi, guys. Welcome to Total Chaos. I am Allie Burns from Picks and Parlays. We're going to do some MLB Total Chaos for this Friday, May the 14th. Excuse our laughter. We've just got a little bit of technical difficulties going on with Mr. Chip Chirimbes over there. Chip, how you doing? You going to pull through?
I have no idea how I'm doing.
As long as you can hear us and we can hear you, who cares about video? You look great as always. Oh my gosh, how are you doing, Ross Benjamin?
Yeah, you can see how I'm doing. I apologize, folks. You missed the prelude to the show.
Oh my gosh, good times to be had by all. All right, guys. So we've got some baseball to talk about today, a little bit of total chaos. We were going to do some NBA, but the lines weren't out yet, so we're just going to rock on with the MLB. I know both of you guys have been crushing the MLB. If people at home, you haven't seen the show before, here's how it works. I'm going to give them 5 games that happen on Friday, and they're going to tell me if it goes over or if it goes under. The guy who gets the most correct comes back next week as a Total Chaos champ. Ross, you ready to rock?
I think that the whole prelude to the show is total chaos.
That's just right. It really sets in here.
Yes, I am ready to rock, Ellie.
All right, Chip, are you ready to go?
I've been ready for about an hour and a half, I think.
I do send the time in the email. Just all right, Chip, why don't you start us off? The Giants are at the Pirates. We've got 7.5 as the number here. What do you got on this one? Over or under?
Well, it's a low number, and it should be because this Kevin Gausman for the Giants is just really tough. I got a good look at him last time out. His ERA is 1.97. His whip is under 1 per game. The Giants are going under 7 of the last 10. So have the Pirates. They've gone under 7 of the last 10. I'm going to play this game under the total. In the last 9 meetings, it's only gone over twice. So and 4-0 at Pitt have gone under the total in the last 4 meetings. So, Ross, I don't know about you, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chip. I mean, I agree with all your points on Gausman. Pleasant surprise this year for the Giants. And, Tyler Anderson hasn't been too bad either over his last 3 starts. A 2.18 ERA, a 0.72 whip. Actually, 7 starts this year, and 6 of those 7 starts have gone under the total. This is a Pittsburgh team that scored 2 runs or less in 8 of their last 10, Ellie. I'm going to agree with my partner here. I'm going under the total of 7.5.
Okay, I love it when we agree. People on the show, when they agree, the consensus picks tend to be the most valuable plays. Ross, you're going to keep it rolling for us with the Yankees at the Orioles. 9 is the number on this one.
Well, I'm going to think like my buddy here. Yeah, he calls himself the Antichrist. I just say I'm contrarian approach. Anyway, this makes no sense. The line is 9. Baltimore's gone under the total in 24 out of 36. The Yankees 22 out of 35 this year. New York scored 4 runs or less in their last 6 actually, and Baltimore's been struggling to score as well. This Kramer is not too good. Dean Kramer for the Orioles, 3 home starts and 9.49 ERA. That's the only thing that makes sense about this over, because Corey Kluber has been on fire over his last 3 starts after a slow start with the Yankees. Chipper, I'm going to go with your thought process here. It all points to the under. I'm going over. Give me the Yankees in Baltimore over the total of 9.
Ooh, the old switcheroo for the chipperoo. What do you say, Chirimbes?
I think everything he says is very valid. Starting pitcher for the Orioles who pitched 7 innings against this Yankee team, giving up 9 runs and 7 in the third. Both of them have been playing under all year. It seems like a really high number. But there's one thing, Ross. Through the ages, since I'd say the last decade, the Yankees have played over every time they walk into this Camden Yards, in this little bandbox, and they go crazy. They score a lot of runs there. They've gone over 27 of 38 times at Baltimore, and they're 52 and 21 to the over on the road. So I'm going to take this game over the total as you did, Yankees and Orioles. And you know what? I think it's about time some of those Yankee bats livened up a little bit, and they just love hitting in this ballpark.
Well, that's all fine and dandy, but they played 4 games at Camden Yards this year, and all 4 have gone under the total. Other than that, I agree with you.
Yeah. Well, I'll take it.
Well, I'll take it. All right, Chip, the Cubs are at the Tigers. We've got 8.5 as the total. Which way do we go here?
Well, you want to talk about teams that aren't scoring runs. I think you have to include Detroit here. They may have busted out a little bit, I think, in this last series against Kansas City. But Jake Arrieta, I think is how he's pronounced it.
Yes.
Hit 9-1-1 to the under against winning teams, against losing teams, excuse me. And I'm going to play this under. The Cubs just don't seem the same offensively either. I think this game is pretty much an under.
Detroit has gone over the total. Detroit is averaging 6 runs per game over the last 8, Ellie. The Cubs against left-handed pitching this year, 10 games against lefties, a left-handed starter, let me clarify. 10 games against left-handed starters, averaging close to 7 runs per game. The Cubs coming off back-to-back unders. They're 3-0 over their last 3 off back-to-back unders. In those 3 games, averaged 14.3 runs per game. Arrieta, 3 road starts, 7.54 ERA, 4 home runs allowed, and 14 in the third. And Tyler Skubal, the left-handed pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, all 5 of his starts have gone over the total, and his 6.33 ERA in those outings are a major reason why. I'm going Cubs-Tigers over 8.5.
All right, so we finally disagree, but we kind of need that to happen so someone can win the game. Let's see if we can get back on track. We've got the Mets at the Rays, and the number here is 7 to Ross Benjamin.
The Mets have allowed 2 runs or less in their last 6. The Mets bullpen has been very good over the last week and a half or so. As a matter of fact, over their last 7 games, a 1.64 ERA as a staff. The Mets will be facing Tyler Glasnow, and this current roster has gone 9 for 52 against Glasnow in their career. That's a 173 batting average, and they've struck out 19 times in those 52 at-bats. So Glasnow has really dominated this lineup. The Tampa Bay bullpen also very good over the last 7, and this is also a Rays team that's allowed 3 runs or less in 8 of their last 9. And Tyler Glasnow, just a terrific young starting pitcher, 2.37 ERA, 0.89 WHIP in 8 starts. I'm going under the total here.
Under we go. Chip, what do you say?
Well, I'm going to agree with Ross. I'm a little leery of David Peterson pitching for the Mets. I think he's very hittable, but he's gotten a fast yank a couple of times. They've gone under 5 of 7 interleague games the Mets have. And though the one thing that bothers me, Ross, I know you're a great stat man, and if you've checked this, they've gone over the last 7 times the Mets and the Rays have played in Tampa, and 9-4 to the over in the last 13 meetings. That bothers me. But that being said, I think this Glasnow can handle this Met lineup. I really do. I think the number 7 is indicative of what the odds maker think is going to happen, and I agree with you. I think it's going to be an under.
Okay, we're back on track. Chip, the Phillies are at the Blue Jays. We got 10.5, a little number to a big number. What are we going to do with this one?
Well, if you're starting with me, I just love this Vince Velasquez of Philadelphia. I mean, a very unique player. He's a right-handed pitcher, but believe me, he can throw the ball left-handed as well. Toronto's on the longest road trip in the history of sports. Did I say something?
He can throw left-handed as well.
No, well, here's what happened. When he was younger, he had broken his right arm, and he played the outfield, and he learned to throw lefty. There was a play which I saw, Ross, which is the greatest baseball play I'd seen, where a line drive hit off his hip. He ran to third base because he had lost his glove, picked it up left-handed, and threw a strike to first base and got the batter base runner out. Impressive. And that was one of the most incredible things I'd ever seen, because he threw the ball right-handed, got the glove knocked off with a line drive, ran and picked it up and fired a strike left-handed.
Wow.
Yeah, so I sort of have a special place in my heart for him because I think he's very athletic. And Toronto's got to be on the longest road trip in the history of sports. I mean, when's the next time? They're playing now in your neck of the woods, aren't they, Ross? Aren't they playing in
Buffalo. They're coming back to Salem Stadium in Buffalo, which is a hitter's paradise, just like the stadium they're playing in now.
Yeah, well, that's why I think this game will probably go over the total. I think getting into a minor league park, like you said, a hitter's paradise. And I'm not quite sure about the Toronto starter. I think his ERA is up around 6, so I'll play it over.
Yeah. Ross, agree?
I agree. Yes, the Toronto starter is Steven Matz, the former Met, Chip, and 11 career starts against Philadelphia, which I would say all 11 came with the Mets. A 6.19 ERA in those starts, and Matz over his last 3, a 9.22 ERA and 183 WHIP. Not very good. The only thing about Velasquez, he's pitched well this year, but he's lasted less than 5 innings per start, and I don't trust that Phillies bullpen.
Oh, terrible.
You know, they're improved, I guess you could say, but they're still extremely erratic. And the Phillies this year against lefty starters like Matz is, 13 home runs in 9 games. Philly 5.4 runs per game over the last 7. 6-2 over the total when the total is 9 or greater. And Toronto 6-3 over the total in their last 9 when there's a number of 9 or greater. And the wind is going to be blowing out, Chip, to the right center field at 14 to 16 miles an hour. I agree with you, buddy. I'm going over the total there.
I love it when we can all be friendly. I love it when we all agree.
But you know what gets me about this season? It's 66% over. Oh, no, that was 2020. Sorry, I got my years confused. Must be 18.
What was that, though? I mean, what was
40 games last year, the season was 67% done.
Yeah. Well, it was 56 games? Yeah.
60 games, I think it had 62.
Whatever.
Maybe, but
yeah.
It's terrible.
Yep.
Fair enough. Well, all right. Thank you guys for playing. We're going to do a quick recap, but before we do, I want to remind everybody about a promo code we have over at picksandparlays.net. The code is RED. R-E-D saves 20% off the entire site. Ross Benjamin, why don't you tell us what you've got going on over at picksandparlays.net?
Well, Major League Baseball, I'm ranked number 2 at one site, number 1 at the other. I'm 40-25 for the year, 26-13 with my last 39. And my average play is at money line odds of -109. So like Chipper, you're not going to get any big chalks from us. And Chip's doing awfully well in Major League Baseball as well, right, Chipper?
Yeah, particularly with my single strongest plays, my megabuck plays on a 26-9 run right now. And just each and every day, Ross try to single out that strongest play, which has always been my forte. And we put it out there every day as a megabuck winner on Picks and Parlays.
The A play. I love it. I love it. All right, guys. And remember that promo code is RED. So use that when you're looking for Ross Benjamin or Chip Chirimbes' premium picks over at the site. All right. Until then, here's what we're going to roll with. In the Giants forgot who they're playing. At the Giants at the Pirates, the number was 7.5, and we are both taking it under. The Yankees at the Orioles, the number is 9, and they're both going over. The only one that they disagreed on, Chip goes under. Ross says it goes over. The Cubs, 8.5. Mets are at the Rays. The number is 7. Both of these guys say it goes under. Phillies are at 10.5. Chip and Ross both say it goes over the number. That is how we are going to play this one. Picks and Parlays viewers, don't forget to give us that thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and that way you'll never miss any of our free picks here at picksandparlays.net. Ross and Chip, may the best capper win.
Thank you, Allie.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.